Islam. First, I give praise to Allah, the great God of the universe. I give honor to his holy and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to the National Grand Sheikh, Brother R. Jones Bey, and to his assistant, Brother P. Chase Ill. I give honor to all national, state, and local officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I give honor to the media team, and I give honor to my sisters on the panel. I give honor to all of you who have joined us this evening for another episode of Girl Talk, Real Talk, Moorish Talk. Our topic, assertion versus aggression, position of authority and how to use it. I am Sister Ingrid Ill, Temple 71, Washington, D.C.
Islam, giving praises to our Father God Allah and honors to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to everything that the sister gave honors to. I give honors to each and every one of you. My name is Sister T. Britt Bay from Washington, D.C. at Temple 71. Peace.
Islam, Islam, Islam. I like to first rise and give all praises to Allah, honor to our holy and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, honors to each and every one of you. Islam Morris, this is Sister Tiffany Hopkins Bay coming out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, temple number 11, Islam.
Islam. I give praise to the great God of the universe, Father God Allah. I give honor to our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to everything that my sisters before me have given honors to, as well as including you all for joining us in this conversation tonight. My name is Sister A. Ravenel Bay, temple number 21 from Brooklyn, New York. And we're about to have a wonderful conversation with Girl Talk, Real Talk, Moorish Talk. Islam sisters.
Islam.
Islam. Well, we're going to kick it off. I'm going to start with the first question, which is, what does it mean, the words assertive versus aggressive? What do those words mean to you?
Islam, rising again, giving praises to Allah, honor to the prophet. So, praise Allah for the question. Assertive, to me, means someone who is able to take charge, take leadership, a leadership position without, um, no, I'm sorry, take a leadership position, but do it in a way that is respectful. That's what I believe assertive is. Aggressive is when you take that leadership role and you are harmful with it. You have a lot of microaggressions. You have a lot of temper tantrums. You don't treat people fair and just. So to me, that's the difference between assertion and aggression. Praise Allah.
Islam. Well, assertion for me means standing erect and firm in your truth, or the truth, I should say. Aggression is being hostile, not being concerned with others' thoughts or feelings, cares or desires, that it's just all about you. And if you don't get your way, it comes out in an ugly display. Peace.
Islam. Assertive to me is a leader being able to communicate to his people without upsetting them or getting upset himself. And the aggressive part is being able to be a leader and controlling and not being able to control your emotions. Because I've seen in leadership positions where they can't seem to control sometimes, at times, their emotions. And we get to see that ugly side of them. So that's what it means to me. Peace.
Peace. Thank you, sisters. I could just say, I think assertive or aggressive for me can be anybody can show up in that manner, leader or not. And for me, assertive is the state, there's like a confidence or forceful
Mm-hmm.
how you say something or say something to someone because you're more rooted into your truth. But when there's aggressive, it's almost like they are forceful with giving their information, but it's almost like they're attacking you. You know, they're
Mm.
attacking the way they're communicating is attacking somebody or attacking the way they're trying to get their point across when you can get your point across being assertive without hurting or harming someone.
Absolutely.
So um that's when I think about the difference between assertive and aggressive because even when we use the word aggressive, there's like to me it's like an anger. There's something more in that person.
Yes.
Hmm.
I just wanted
It's
to say, go ahead, sister.
no, no. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's a really, really thin line between the two. Um, because you can say something to someone, you can ask them something, but it can change easily from from assertion to aggression when it is said in a certain tone. So I think it's a very, very thin line.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, sis, because I can honestly say that I've witnessed people in leadership positions that have an aggressive tone, and it may be me personally, I think it's this is just my own feeling about the individual that I witnessed that when speaking out to a crowd of people,
Mhm.
there's the tone is aggressive, and they may not even know that the tone comes off that way, even in just regular communicating with
Mm.
people or their peers. Their tone is aggressive, and I've never said anything to the person because I don't feel like I'm close enough to that individual to even address that in that manner. But I have witnessed it. But I just be thinking sometimes, it's possible that this person doesn't realize if no one's ever said anything. Some people can come off aggressive, and that might not even be their intent. That's just their tone.
Mm.
They have that. I don't know how you say it, but they have that about them. They just have aggressive nature about them. So I think it is a
That
thin
it
line.
sounds like you're saying they have that, and as a matter of fact, attitude when they're speaking. Like what they saying is what it is, and that's just it. But I was just gonna say that the difference the difference between aggression and assertiveness, and I went to look it up just to be certain that
Mhm.
aggression usually results from too much negative emotion and is a hostile attack, usually against
Mm-hmm.
someone else.
Absolutely.
Assertion is about being confident in standing up for yourself and your beliefs while maintaining respect for others.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Praise Allah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when Sister Britt Bay was speaking and she was saying that, some people may not even know that they are being that way and it's not their intent. I feel like if the conversation is directed to me, I'm the type person we need to have a conversation because even though how I received it may not have been your intention, but that's how I received it. And so we need to
Right.
have a conversation to make sure we're both on the same page because how you dished it out may not have been your intention. So let's make
Right.
sure that the person that's receiving it is cool and the person that was able to dish it out is cool. And that all comes from proper communication. In all
Yeah.
honesty, I have been in many different situations. Um, prior to joining the Moorish Science of America, I would definitely be like, listen, don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. But now, with the teachings of the prophet, excuse me, we have learned to communicate. And when we communicate, we are able to resolve. There's resolution on board.
Yes.
So therefore, you know, like I said earlier, it might not have been that person's intention, and I may have misunderstood it, misread it. We are humans. Things happen. Excuse me. sometimes things are said, but if it's your brother or sister, you can have a conversation with them and all will be well.
Mm-hmm.
It's sis, I had to tell you that I still say that. I just put please in front of it. Please don't speak to me that way. You
Right.
know, and that's just what it is. Like, I don't speak to you like that. I don't speak to nobody like that. If I'm speaking to somebody that way, that means there's an issue, right? So I try not to do that to anybody. So yeah, I have to practice that. Please don't call me that. You know, sometimes even if in your circle, well, my circle knows not to call me certain things now, but maybe a sister friend you haven't seen in a long time, and they may say they think it's a term of endearment, but to me it's just not. And I was like,
Right.
don't speak, please don't talk to me like that. I said, oh, you hurt my heart when you do that. Please don't speak to me that way. So yeah.
And at times with that, sis, too, at times you can go to someone and have those conversations and say, please don't talk to me like that. And now they
Mhm.
think you're being the aggressive person because you're
Mhm.
asking them with kindness not to talk to
It'll
you that
flip.
way.
Yes.
And then they start to be like, well, who are you for me to not talk to you that way? And it's like, listen, I'm only coming to you in love
Love.
because I want this
Absolutely.
conversation to continue.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can't respect each other's boundaries, then the conversation cannot continue.
That's right. That's
And
right.
if you have hurt someone, or if you have done something to them, you are supposed to try your best to make a speedy reparation from that.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to try your best to repair that as quickly as possible. If that's not your
Mhm.
intention.
Right.
If that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't your intention, then you would not have felt some type of way by me addressing it.
Mm-hmm.
Praise the Lord.
Mom. Mom. Sister Ravenel Bay.
No, I'm listening, and my thoughts were going. You saw my thoughts. I just the first thing that I kept hearing was, the prophet said you got to learn to love.
Yes.
Because the reason I think when you hear that aggressiveness, that's coming from a different ether. That's not coming from love.
Yes.
It's usually coming from some other lower self. I don't know if I triggered you. I don't know if it was from someone back there. I don't know where it's coming from, but I don't need it, and I don't need to bring that on me. And I think it takes courage to speak the truth. You gotta. I love the way you said this, degree. You start with the plea. Can you please don't talk to me that way? Because you
Yes.
need to let them know how and when, and call them on. The prophet says, you're gonna help me out. Others see you most
Most
plainly.
plainly. Yes.
Sometimes people don't know when you say this is the Bay, that they don't know that they're actually showing up that
Yes.
way.
Yes.
And we had a few weeks ago, I think it was Brother Jay Frazier Bay was speaking in one of the Sunday schools or Friday, I don't know. He said something, and it's been with me for a while, which is when the prophet signed everything, he said, I'm your affectionate leader. And when I think about the word affectionate, it's not it. I don't know why. For some reason, it just made me like, he's a pattern, for us. And an affectionate leader is pure love. I think
Mhm.
of, that sweet, sister that's been in temple for a really long time. I think about sisters that were, in the temple, some of the elders that I knew, they come over and they're firm. They were certain. Mm-mm,
Yes.
can't do that. They're with love. Firm,
But with love. Yes.
not aggressive, but I
Yes.
knew not to do it, and I think about how we show up. And yeah, so this is a good topic.
Praise the Lord.
So I'll go with the next question.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of long. So I had in your community, workplace, country, state, temple, or place of worship, there are appointed officials, leaders, people of power, people of authority. Can you identify some of the common things that are overlooked or misused while in those positions? And I'm gonna kick it off, and I'm gonna say one of the most common ones that I see is power. It's power. I can see like the power and the welfare of the people. And when I think about that, I think about some of the leaders we had, some of our presidential leaders we had took power to a whole nother level. Um, the welfare of their subjects didn't seem to be of importance, maybe of a certain set or group of people, but not overall. Um, and I also think of that also in the workplace, because I've worked under people in the workplace that they kind of misused their position as supervisors or what have you. You look for them, because I've always had the mindset like, if I have a supervisor and you have a group of people that you're supervising, you know, we uh we need each other. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to. I would imagine them always trying to find out from the people that they're supervising what's needed. What is it that they can
Mm-hmm.
do to make the work environment even better? I don't see a lot of that.
Mm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
from places that I've worked. So I wanted to just share something on in chapter 29, and this kind of supported what I was saying. Instructions 2 and 3, where it says, "Thou art clothed in purple and seated on a throne, the crown of majesty invested thy temples. The scepter of power is placed in thy hand, but not for thyself were these ensigns given, not meant for thine own, but the good of thy kingdom." You can't forget that when you are appointed, you know, that there's always, you know what, I always think in terms of when you're a leader, as leaders, we have to always remember we have somebody even higher than us that we serve.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So the
Yep.
same way we're going to serve Allah, and I'm talking about Allah, we have to keep in mind that he's in all of those people. When we're in that title, that position don't mean nothing. You know, and so then it goes on to say, the glory of a king is the welfare of his people. His power and dominion rest on the hearts of his subjects. These people are trusting you, and you have to take that to heart. And I think sometimes in leadership position, we tend to forget that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because that power overtakes us sometimes. But, you know, I just think that we need to keep in mind that there's a power greater than ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That we're indebted to. So that's it. Peace.
Praise the Lord. Now, can you repeat that question one more
Sure, because
time?
I know it was long. So it says, in your community, workplace, country, state, temple, place of worship, there are appointed officials, leaders, people of power and authority. Can you identify some of the common things that are overlooked or misused in those positions?
I would say so. In addition, praise a lot for what you spoke about. Um, but I would also say manners and values are
Mm,
missing as well.
mm, mm.
I think that's missing, man, everywhere. It is missing everywhere because you know, I remember being a child being taught to say please and thank you
Yes,
or excuse me.
yes.
Man, when I tell you, it's so many places I go, people don't say please, thank you. They don't say excuse me. And that's one thing that I'm hard on my children about. You do not just squeeze past somebody and go in front of them. You say excuse me.
Mhm.
And that's because I am instilling in them morals and values and
Yes.
respect. Respect is also missing because a lot of times when people are in positions of authority, powerful positions, whatever you want to call it, it's like they're the big eyes and you're the little U's. And
Mm, mm-mm.
that's not how we're supposed to treat each other. Um when you were speaking about, the employee and the supervisor positions, it makes it, for me personally, it makes it easier when we all work together as a collective to get um the job accomplished. It makes it
Mm-hmm.
easier for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um I know for me personally, I don't have my employees do any more than I would do myself.
Yes.
Um, you may think, oh, well, you own the business. Why are you washing dishes? Why not? Why not?
Mhm.
I'm not above anybody. Um, so I think that, excuse me, you have to have morals, values, and respect for everyone that you're around and everyone that you come in contact with, because at the end of the day, we're all bound together. We're all bound together by cords. And I wanted to take a quick reading from chapter 10. Give me 1 second. And that is on page 16. And I just want to read two quick instructions. Instruction number 4. The universal Allah is one, yet he is more than one. All things are one. By the sweet breath of Allah, all life is bound in one. So if you touch a fiber of a living thing, you send a thrill from the center to the outer bounds of life. And the chapter goes on to, explain more in detail. But I feel like at times, even though we may not physically be touching someone, our words and our actions can touch people as well.
Yes.
And so we have to make sure that we are acting according. We have to make sure that we're all, having concern and care and compassion for everyone else.
Mhm.
Praise Allah.
Islam, I would say trust is missing and overlooked, and accountability. I remember working at this place where a new store manager came in, and mind you, uh, she didn't come in because the store needed a overlook or do over or anything like that. She came in because the manager at the time clocked out one day and never returned.
Mhm.
So the store needed a manager. So she came in with everybody not looking like her. And she tried to run the store as such, if y'all are following me, right? But some of us knew her job. We just didn't have the position, right? We have been working there long enough. Some of us supervisors been working there long enough to know her job. And there was no trust and no and the accountability on her end was just not there. And I remember her sitting down with me and asking me, like, what does she need to do for us to, um, I think she used the word act right. And I said, first of all, we are grown people. We behave properly here, right? Yeah, we have fun and enjoy each other's company and surroundings. We have to make the workplace a pleasurable place to be, right? I said the reason why you're having the issue is because you are a manager and not a leader. Your people are only going to work for you as much as you're working for them.
Mhm.
There's no trust, there's no compassion. We have when we have issues, you don't care about them, so they don't care either. They started not to care either, and that's
Mhm.
what's going on. And I could tell I struck a nerve because her eyes started to well up. So I looked away so she can get herself together, and I could see her wiping her tears. And I said, "That's just the truth of the matter. You have to give people what you want from them, right? Just like you were just saying, Sister Hopkins Bay, just because you own the restaurant don't mean you shouldn't have to wash dishes. Like everybody should help everybody. That's how we make this thing possible,
Yeah.
and
Working together.
it's important. And I hope that anybody hearing me, if you are the top dog at your place of employment, excuse me, I shouldn't have said it like that. If you are a leader at the place of your employment, um, lead properly. Don't manage, don't micromanage, don't be peeping around the corner. If somebody doesn't know something, help them out, you know, and if they
Yes.
need to do over, like teach them, you know. Yeah, that's it.
Praise a lot. It's funny you said that. Don't be peeping around at them, because I peeps around at people, but I only do it for instructional reasons. Because I've tried to show some people how some things are done, and praying that they will get it. And just I go check on them just to make sure, but I'm not watching you like a hawk, because at some point I do have to trust that you have learned what I taught you.
Mhm.
Um, but it also, if you have not, it doesn't mean start yelling and going off. No, okay, come on, let's try this again. Let's
Mhm.
try this again. Let's figure this out. Let's see how we can make it better, or how we can do it different this time. And it's not just here at work. For me, it's in life in general. I taught my
Mm-hmm.
children how to do certain things, so that I don't have to do it all the time. My children are, my oldest one is 13 and my second oldest is 11, and they do the laundry.
Hmm.
They do the laundry and
Mm-hmm.
they know how, because they are assisting their parents. They don't pay no bills, praise Allah, but they can assist. But I'm
Yep.
not going to scream at I'm not going to scream
Yeah,
at them if they do
I
something
agree.
wrong.
I
I'm
agree.
going to say, okay, now let's see how we can make this situation better. What did we do this time that we can do better the next time? And that's just in dealing with people,
Yes.
period.
Mhm.
When I'm out at them grocery stores or wherever I'm at, and people don't do the excuse me or whatever the case may be, I still make sure, even if they are wrong, I still make sure I'm going to say excuse me,
Mhm.
because I don't want to be in your way. I know people got things going on,
Mm-hmm.
places to go, people to be, places to be, whatever the case may be. Okay, I don't want to be in your way. So let me
Mm-hmm.
say excuse me and let me move over, because you might not be in the best mood right now. And I have compassion and understanding for that. I get it. Some people are going through some very hard times.
Mhm.
And so I'm not going to lose my cool because somebody did something that I did not like.
Praise Allah. And even in that conversation with that manager, there could have been a moment of aggression and assertiveness, right?
Mm,
But I chose assertiveness because,
Mm-hmm.
how she had been behaving up to that point. I really wanted to give her a tongue lashing of a lifetime,
mm,
right? But I represent the Moorish Simple of America, whether you know it or not,
mm,
right? So I have to act as such, but I have to stand on my square and be like, this is what's happening, and this is why this is taking place,
right.
and this is not why you're not getting the results you think you should have because of your behavior. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I can. This is a really great question, Sister Britt Bay, because in my past, I had to lead teams and hire teams and be a part of, be a leader. And I remember when I
Mm-hmm.
first started, someone said to me, actually, when I became a mother, I had a manager that said, "You're actually going to be a much better leader." Because when you treat your role to realize that you are on a team with people, that your job as a leader really is to help people grow, is also to catch things, to see from a
Exactly.
different view and catch them, because they're a reflection on you. And I remember that so clearly. I was like, wait,
Yes.
That's right.
you know, and I remember I was going on vacation and I was so stressed about it. And he's like, let me tell you something. If if things don't go smoothly, it's really a reflection of leadership, because your team should know the goals of what
Mm-hmm.
needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
They should be willing to make sure that everything
There
is
it
wonderful.
is.
And the I mean, it has in here magistrate and subject that word affection. It says their affection unto him begetteth in his breast the love of the public. Even in our chapter, magistrate and subject, it
Mm-hmm.
speaks about there's a love that happens because it's a team. You know,
Mm,
we're all trying, and I always believe everybody got a boss. Even if you're the boss,
right.
you got a boss. And if you're
Oh,
the owner,
definitely. Yes.
your
Yeah. You
boss
got a boss.
is your clients. Because if your clients don't want your business, then you don't have a business. And if it just is a domino effect, and it reminds me that we're all working together.
Mm,
We're all playing a part to make this thing work. But when people come in and they're lacking compassion, when they're lacking I love the word trust, because you should be able to trust that everyone is an adult to do what they need to do. If you are lacking, if you're
Mm-hmm.
not good at teaching people, not doing and yelling at them, but helping them grow. And I
Right.
still think as a leader, your job
Mm-hmm.
is not to hold them in that work. I believe your leader is to help them do
Mm-hmm.
well in that job, but as in lifetime for them. This might not be the job that they're gonna live in forever and ever. And you should be okay. And I say that because I remember I had a manager before, and she didn't want to let me go to another job. It was internal. And I didn't know that. I didn't, I applied for the job and did all this work. And I'm like, why am I not, why didn't it happen? And someone slid in and told me, you ain't getting the job because she wants you in this job because you're helping her. So you're not going to get the job. So do what you need to do. And I was like, wait a minute. So if I'm qualified for this job, but you're telling me because I'm locked because she wants to keep me on her team, and from that, I was like, that is not leadership, because somebody let her fly and get into the role that she wanted to get into. So to
Mhm.
me, you as a good leader, I'm helping you for this moment and for your next moment. I want you to do well
Right.
here and then figure out the next thing that's for you. I'm not trying to hold you back because
Mhm.
it's bigger than this job and this paycheck. It's about you as an individual. I should be caring about you. And I think it's really disappointing when people have those leadership roles and they don't realize that it's just not about them.
Right.
It ain't about them. It's about all of us
Mm-hmm.
staying out together.
That's
That's
right.
right. That's right.
Praise Allah.
Yeah. I also agree and believe that a good leader, when picking, because when they're in those high positions, they always had people that work under them that hold certain positions as well. And I think when it comes to those people under you should be just as strong as you are, meaning even as a leader, when you're lacking, those that are under
Mhm.
you shouldn't be afraid to pull you up and tell you where you're lacking. And as
Mm,
That's
that
right.
leader, you should be open to
Mhm.
their opinions.
that's right.
You
That's
understand what
right.
I'm saying? You should always be looking for, we're in the business of uplifting. So even when picking your people, you're looking for the qualities that they have that's going to add to your focus or your vision for
That's
that
right.
place of worship, for that temple, for that
Hmm.
community, for that country.
Right.
Everybody has to be, in accord. Just like the
Right.
sister said
Right.
earlier. So it's just a lot to look at as a leader, and never forgetting as a leader, you are still a servant.
That's right.
You
You are a
cannot
servant,
forget that.
period.
You're still
That's
a
right.
servant.
You are a servant. When you said that, sis, I also think about when you are, if you have the ability to lead, you should be finding people. This is how I describe. I should find somebody that does something better than me that I can't do. I believe in the it's called I
Hmm.
can't pull it, but it's essentially strengths. Whatever is your strength, that's the person that owns that. They're not going to be, they might not be perfect in everything else, but if somebody is really good at the
Yeah.
numbers, let them do that. They may not be really good at the service for the customer service. That's okay. Let them be strong where they're supposed to be strong. I'm going to find somebody else who wants to work with
Right.
people. Put them where they will shine, because when they shine, it's natural to them. They,
Exactly.
they ain't got to work, and don't beat them up because they can't do the other thing. It's like, look,
Hmm.
you got to work on this other thing. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
take care of it. This right here, you got that part covered. Handle, do your thing, and put them up on a pedestal and acknowledge them and tell
Yeah.
them when they do good, and give them their props, and let them
Mhm.
know that they are, echo it out so that they get what they need, because everybody needs to know that.
I just wanted to comment on when you just said,
Mm-hmm.
when they do good, tell them that they're doing good. I've heard some people say that, you know, people don't need certain accolades or whatever because that's what they're supposed to be doing. But I've always took the position because of where I come from. Um, there are some people that are doing the best that they can and they will go the extra mile and they will go hard on a job. And just sometimes a simple thank you is enough. And you may not know what people are getting or not getting at home. We have to realize that there are some people, at home that don't get hugs. Their family, they don't do stuff like that. They don't talk about love. They don't talk about feelings. They don't talk about emotions. Um, they don't, honor each other. There are real people that are living lives like that. And so just sometimes, nobody says they have to get an award or, their name blown up on a poster, but just a simple
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much. You rock today, or you did very well today, and I appreciate you.
Mhm.
That's harmless. That's a couple words that
It
could have made someone's day.
it really just saying, I see you. I see you and I thank you. And when it is sincere, to be clear, right? When it comes from sincerity, the heart of man reaches the
Mm-hmm.
heart of another man and they feel it. And we should be doing that. We should be uplifting them, even in a work situation. What does that mean? That means that you
Absolutely.
really should with them people all day long. Of course you should.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
definitely
That's instruction.
that's right. I definitely I give honors to my four children because through the COVID era, when everybody was home, all the way up until now, they have dealt with things with such grace and such humility and such love, to the point where all of them are on honor roll, have been on honor roll all year. And for this, excuse me, for this to be their first year back transitioning to being in-person school, I just give them honors because they have rocked, and I tell them
Mm-hmm.
that all the time. But I also let them know where they can improve, because we all know we can have some young people doing real good in school, but they can have these little attitudes at home. It's like, listen, we got to work on that. You did wonderful, and I love you, and I appreciate you for doing that. But you got to work on that little attitude when I ask you to do something you don't like. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna work it out. But praise Allah, praise Allah.
Who has the next question?
Let me see. I can ask one. Have you ever crossed the line with coworkers and been labeled as aggressive? This is that real talk, y'all. We gotta be straight up. Have we ever
Only
crossed the
with
line?
coworkers. Only
Yeah.
with only with coworkers.
That's a great
Or
point.
period. It could be period.
Yes, I have. Okay, so I have, and I was told that when three or more people tell you the same thing, you might want to look at it. It's a possibility that it could be true, what's being said about you.
Right.
And I've been told that I'm aggressive. I've been told that a lot of times to the point that it bothered me. Um, and I just couldn't see why they felt that way. I remember when I was driving public transportation, and people would ask me something simple like, "Can you tell me, like, what time the next bus come?" And in my mind, I'm thinking I'm just answering, but the response would be, "Oh, you ain't have to say it like that."
Mm.
But I heard that a lot, that my tone was aggressive, so it eventually became a concern to me. And so I eventually had to end up really thinking before I would respond.
Mm.
And even doing that was painful because it could be, I felt like it was coming from a good place, but it still was coming off strong. And I know I picked up an aggressive tone from a past life I used to live. And
Mm.
so even still now, I'm still working on that nature, that part of me that ten, can sometimes come off aggressive. But
Mm.
so I try to keep in mind today, I'm learning how to keep in mind that this is a human I'm talking to, and that's Allah inside. So I try to be mindful of how I respond or how I come off. Now I'm not just not by nature aggressive just in how I communicate to people, but I do notice that when I get excited, say for instance, speaking about the word, about this Quran, um, when I get excited, it comes off like aggressive. So people always saying calm down, and I hate that word. I can't stand that word calm down, because calm down to me sounds like I am just, like I need a pill, just calm down or something, like I need to be on meds or something. And that's not the case. So I just have I don't know if I have an aggressive nature. I do know that I picked up an aggressive tone, like I said. So that's work for me. I have to work on that part of me. But it just hearing people tell me about that, and so many people telling me about it, it's not a good feeling. And so because of the fact that I don't want to come across and I don't want to appear to be an aggressive person, I make whatever necessary changes in trying to learn how to shift that kind of attitude. Peace.
Praise Allah. I wanted her to restate her question, but I guess I would say, if I can remember how she worded it, yeah. Someone was aggressive with me, and I responded in the same suit, except mine's had creases in it. Yeah. Because I take pride in being who I am, right? Being this changed person, not feeling and reacting, but feeling and then thinking and then breathing and then respond. Because I used to feel and then react, feel and react, feel and react, feel and react. And I don't move like that anymore. When I was challenged, and I just responded in the same suit. So no, like Sister Britt Baby was saying, I'm just not aggressive in my everyday living, but I have responded aggressively to someone being aggressive with me in the workplace. And while doing so, I removed myself and I said to the manager, I said, you might need to get down, right? Because I don't mess with people. So it'd be a good idea if we don't even work on the same shift. So and then at some point, one of us have to go, and one of us did go, and it wasn't me, right? So because from past experience, I learned that when you when you have certain thoughts, first of all, some thoughts you shouldn't be having, but when they are there, they should stay there. They shouldn't come out of your mouth. And I said a thing that I thought I said in my head, but it came out of my mouth, right? And from that experience, I learned my lesson, right? I learned how to utilize what HR is for. Complaints. You have some issues or some concerns that's not being dealt with properly inside the workplace, you go to HR. And that's what I did. Because last time I'm the one that lost the job, right? So praise Allah for that lesson. And I knew how to behave in the next time that I was approached that way. So no, I'm not aggressive with people in the workplace when I was in that workplace, but I did respond in the same suit. Peace.
Yes.
I guess to the question for me, I would say I'm going to flip it a little bit. I know you asked for coworkers, but I think if you're going to see the aggression, it'll probably be at home before you would be at work. And particularly if I'm just not centered, right? Where For me, sleep is really important. If I don't get that sleep, I'm quieter, but I have to work on my aggression. And you've
Mm.
all been around me a bit, so I don't know, maybe you've seen some of that. And I try to have a a calm demeanor, and I try to be measured before I say things, because when I was young, I remember someone, my mother actually was saying, "You got to watch your tongue,
Mhm.
Mm,
very sharp tongue." And it always stuck with me because, as you know, when you're young, you just saying things. I might not, I was saying what I said because I thought it was right, but it's all about delivery.
Mhm.
I've always learned
mhm.
you can say anything, is how you deliver it. I've had to, at a work situation, I remember I was worried about somebody getting aggressive with me because they had an odor, and we dealt with the public, and people were like, "You need to do something, you're the manager." I'm like, "I got to say something to this person." And I was like, "What am I going to say to this person?" And I just remembered, I can't say, "You just think you need to take a shower." I can't say that, right?
Right.
You can say anything. It was probably one of the hardest times I've ever, between that and unfortunately having to let someone go, when my job was like, we have to let people go, and you have to be the one to deliver it. And I remember having to figure out what's the right words to convey to them and understand what was happening. And I always remember, I was like, you know, we're hearing from customers and others that when you come, that they feel offended by your presence, and it's through odor, and I need you to be aware of that. And I try to be as compassionate as I could, because I
Mm.
would want the person to get that feedback. And then what do you do? How do you feel?
Right.
And so, to going back to answer your question, I realized that I try my best to think about, use discretion. Prophet says you're supposed to use discretion with your words, and think about what you
Mhm.
say. But it becomes very hard for me, real talk, when I'm really tired and I'm off, and I could feel it. It's just that day, and if I don't get that sleep that I need, and I don't have the ability to center, and I got to push through. Sometimes I'm just trying to get through the day, and it can be a little, but I'm working on it.
Praise Allah.
We
Which is, I do
all
work
are.
on prioritizing my sleep now, for sure.
Right. Right. That's so deep, because I am the exact same way when it comes to sleep. Like, if I don't, and I'm a person that will go and go and go until I can't go anymore. And Allah, I have not learned my lesson yet, because Allah has set me down several times and been like, "No, you need to sit and be still."
Mhm.
Um, but praise Allah, Allah is working with me, and I hear Him, and I get it, and I obey. So at this point, I'm like, I need to get sleep. Um, when I don't, I wouldn't even just say when I don't get it. I would say I have been aggressive in certain situations. Um, things that I'm not necessarily proud of in my past, but you make mistakes as you are growing and unfolding, and you learn from them.
Mhm.
Um, sitting here today, I am much more aware of how I say things to people, because I'm one of those people
Yeah.
that have that harsh tone. And so if I say something in a certain way, they can easily take it as me being aggressive.
Yeah.
And so, being as though I know that my voice can come off like that, I always go and try to soften it a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
try to, say something to let them know that I'm not intentionally being harsh, or, I didn't, I'm quick to say, I did not mean that in an aggressive, or I won't say aggressive. I did not mean that in a mean way. I'll say that. Um, but you live and you learn, and there are many I'm sorry. There are many times that you have to go back. The reflection is the business of man. And
Yes.
so there are times
Yes.
when you have had certain situations happen, and you like, man, how could I have handled that differently?
Mhm.
What could I have done better? I wouldn't necessarily say at work because there's not a whole lot of jobs that I've had in my lifetime, other than being a mom full time. I did that full time 10 years straight, and that was extreme. And so there were days when my husband would come home from work and I had not had sleep. I had not had a moment to myself. Um, and I've just been like, listen, I need a break. I need a break, you know? And sometimes when, even though we can talk about the lessons all day and all night, there are times when you feel like you need some time to yourself to think, to pray, to meditate, to do whatever it is you need to do to get yourself together. Because at times, being honest, for me, I got to get myself together.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta clean my thoughts. I gotta, work on the thoughts that I've been having. You kind of gotta go within. You gotta go within and sit. Um, how we talk about Jesus in our Quran, how he went and sat and meditated for 40 days.
That's
Sometimes,
right.
we don't have that, especially as sisters, as mothers, as women, as wives, as everything. Because we wear many different terms. You do not get that moment to center your thoughts. And so in those moments, I have had times where I'm like, I just need a break. And I praise a lot for my husband. For when he recognizes it, he'll just be like, go take a break. Just go take a break. Because he knows I'm overwhelmed, I'm overworked. Unfortunately, I'm underpaid. Um, and but that's a part of the duties that, that's a part of the duties that I signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I just have to learn how to sometimes deal with it better. And how Sister Ravenel Bay spoke about, sometimes it's absolutely the people that are closest to you that will get that aggression real quick. And it's like, hold
Yes.
up, gotta bring it back. Let's bring it back. Because that's not the
Yeah.
vibe we try to, it's sometimes deep because we can have more patience and understanding and love for strangers than we have with our own people that's right next to us. And it's like, no, we gotta bring that
Mm-hmm.
back. That wasn't right what I said. That wasn't right what I did. And I apologize. I'm good for that. I'll apologize in a heartbeat. Because I know I can go from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yes.
Real quick. But I'm working on it. Allah is working with me.
Mm-hmm.
Praise Allah.
Praise on.
Sister Great, oh, you got your question? I don't know if you got a question in tonight.
Excuse me. I have one. Have you ever witnessed someone in a position of leadership, that's yourself included, with an assertive character bring out the positive or negative in others?
Mm.
And I guess I can expound on that a little bit. Like sometimes if you have a more nice or calm demeanor or assertive demeanor, sometimes you can be thought of as a pushover. And people will take advantage of that, and you'll get some negative result, or because of that you can get positive results. Have you
Mm-hmm.
ever witnessed that ever taking place anywhere?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Islam. I'm gonna say with parenting. I could be, and my children are adults, so they're at that stage where you try. I talk to them about retirement, putting money up. We're not always going to be here. I had those kind of conversations with my daughter. And it's like when you're having these conversations with them, they just, oh my God. And sometimes it could be overwhelming. The response that I get for my daughter, it's always aggressive, always. And sometimes I just gotta step away. And I have to go within me because I know for a fact that that low is just around the corner doing push-ups, ready to rise, ready to get a workout in. And I don't want to demonstrate that kind of behavior back, because one, it's just not going to solve anything. And I want to show her something different, even if she experiences aggression from others. Or I want her to see herself, the effect of it when you
Mhm.
are aggressive to people that are coming to you in love and telling you
Mm-hmm.
some really good stuff, all for your own welfare.
Mhm.
It's hurting, like y'all said earlier. It's always the ones that are closest to you. And praise Allah for me, doing my meditating daily and staying in this Quran daily. Like, I am adamant on my studies because I learn something different about me every day. I also know that the things that I already know aren't perfect yet. So it's imperative that I stay in my lessons just to get better at things such as this, with how to handle aggression,
Mhm.
or even me being the one to give it. Because it was just yesterday when you come at me with that aggressive personality, oh, I'm going all the way in to kill, like to really hurt inwards. And praise Allah that that's just not me today. I
Mhm.
know what that feels like. So I don't choose to hurt anybody verbally with my words or in my act. So yeah, I'm gonna say just in parenting. Yeah, it's tough, but like I said, for the most part, I have to walk away and I have to think about my lesson. I also have to use my five senses. I
That's
have to
right.
use my five senses too. Peace.
Peace. Can you repeat the question, Sister Grill?
Yes. So, have you ever witnessed someone in position of leadership, self included, with an assertive character bring out the positive or negative in others?
Oh, absolutely. Um, Many people. Um, and I think we've talked about this tonight, just being in positions of leadership, but giving people a pat on the back or a good word. Um, at those times, I feel like the assertiveness that's in somebody doesn't necessarily bother me. Um, yeah, I don't think it bothers me. I feel like when you are able to lead, you know, with morals, values, and respect, trust, when you're able to lead that way, um, you're able to get better results.
Hmm.
So I feel like I've definitely seen that. I can't exactly remember who, but I've seen that from time to time, and it makes my heart smile when I see someone who is the boss, um, excuse me, treat people with love, with love.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
I'll quickly give my thoughts. I know we're getting close to time. Yeah, I mean, I felt it. I actually had to learn how to lead with love, but be assertive. And there's a timing on it. Sometimes when you are leading with love and I got to be me. I can't be anybody else. But when there were
Yes.
times when you know that they are testing you, Allah will give you that inkling and that intuition, or someone doing something that people test boundaries just like children do. Can I do this? Can I come a little late? And well, she knows she nice. She ain't gonna say nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
what I've learned is that you got to be really quick, right? Just like a child with the problems. Prophet says, "Let no evil habit gain strength with years." It's exactly for the children. You got to have to do it at work. And I just say, "Hey, I see it happen. I know that everything might. I hope you're okay and everything's fine. But my
Mhm.
expectation is that next time you're here on time and you give me a heads up, right? And then
Mhm.
by the next time, because if you don't, people will continue to push boundaries for you. And so it's a fine balance. But I do think, as we're all mothers, your mother loves you so much, but that don't mean that you're gonna be able to do whatever you want to do. You still might get in
That's right.
trouble. And I bring that to when I'm doing it, is that I'm talking to you with love, but I'm also going to teach you why it's wrong and what
Yep.
I expect. And I'm always going to expect the best of you, because I should, right? You want me to. So that's how I've been able to kind of do that, or try to balance that as much as possible.
Praise Allah.
You want to answer, Sister Grill?
No.
Okay. You have to. Well, we're ready to wrap up. And actually, before I go ahead with some announcements, Sister Grill, do you have any? You want to have some final words or some thoughts you want to share?
Islam, yes. Islam. I just wanted to extend my gratitude to everyone who contributed in one way or another with when I lost my mom. You know, my temple, the Moors all over the nation, my family, my fitness team, my squad, my good girlfriends. I so thank you for all the love that you have all extended to me and to my sisters right here on Girl Talk, Real Talk, Moorish Talk for my miraculous scent gift package. Thank you, sisters. I really love all of the goodies. I was just telling the sisters I didn't know if I wanted to use it because I'm so sentimental and I didn't want to mess up the package. But the card that I received really did it for me. Me and Tracy was in here both crying yesterday. Was it yesterday? And I said, okay,
Yes.
that's it. But I thank you, Moors, from all over. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I'm telling you, I don't know how I would have made it without all the love that was shown to me. Thank you. Peace.
Yes, well, we are so happy that you are with us this evening to continue the dialogue. We love
Yeah.
you. And for those that
Yes.
don't know, that's what this movement is about. It's about love through the trials and the tribulations that we all going to go through. It's about being there for one another, whether you're in authority, a position of power. We're supposed to help each other on this path of life we're in. And so we want to just remind you, if you didn't see it last night, Universal Love with Brother and Sister Adams Bay was on. You can go back and see the replay. That's every other week, same week as us. There's a new show coming out next Wednesday called Sakara Sacred Healing Wellness Wednesday. That should show up next Wednesday for you all. And then the following week, we'll be back. As always, Friday, 7:30 p.m., Sunday school, 2 p.m., both Eastern times. You can participate and get uplifted through our meetings. And we thank all our viewers for being with us. And we can't wait to see you all in 2 weeks. Peace, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.